Good morning. In today's class, we will study a special kind of graph which is known as a tree. So before studying the topic spanning trees, so the topic is actually spanning trees. But before going into the topic, we have to know what this term trees mean. So basically, a tree is a simple graph. So if you remember the definition of simple graph, it is a graph with no multi-edges or no loop. So a tree is a simple graph capital G such that there is a unique there is a unique non-directed path, unique simple non-directed path between each pair of vertices. Between each pair of vertices. Now, what is a tree basically? A tree is basically a simple graph which has non-directed path. So if we create a path in a tree, it will be unique, simple and non-directed between each pair of vertices. Okay, so from point A to point C or point Z, we will have a simple path without any loops or edges. Now the next thing will be spanning trees. What is the definition of a spanning tree? A subgraph, suppose if G is a graph with vertices V comma E. So GB is simple graph. So this is simple graph. Then in that case, a spanning tree of G. So spanning tree of this G, I am denoting it with H. A spanning tree of G is denoted by H. H is a subgraph of G. H is a subgraph of G. That is, it is a tree containing every vertex of G. So whenever you are talking about spanning tree, we will talk about two conditions. The first condition is H, which is a subgraph of G, is a tree. Okay, that is the path between two vertices or path between two distinct pair of vertices should be undirected or non-directed. The definition of a tree. So H should be a tree. And second condition is H contains all the vertices of G. Now why do we need to study spanning trees? Spanning trees play an important role in many computer algorithms that work on graphs. So if we are taking the concept of graphs, then spanning tree is a very important subtopic of graphs and it is also used in many algorithms. So according to this definition, now we will look at the formal definition of the spanning tree. So suppose you have an connected undirected graph. Connected means every node is reachable from every other node. Undirected means edges do not have an associated direction. Then a spanning tree of the graph is connected subgraph in which there are no cycles. Another important thing is, in the case of a spanning tree, there should be no cycles and H should be a subgraph of G. That is, if there are no cycles, it means it is a tree basically. And H should also contain all the vertices of G. So let's see that. So first and foremost, we have a connected undirected graph. This is a graph which is connected and undirected. There is no direction. Now for this graph, I can create spanning tree as follows. Let's name the vertices. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now for this, what I can do is I have to create a tree spanning tree. It means we should create a subgraph of this graph and that subgraph should have all the vertices. So I can create it in this way. I can start from the vertex 1, then go to vertex 2, then from 2 we can go to vertex 4 and then from 1 we can go to vertex 3. So this is a spanning tree. And one more thing is we can have multiple spanning trees of one single graph. So let us see what are the different spanning trees of this graph. So these are 4 of the spanning trees of the graph. So let's look in. So I have drawn the first one. The second one, I am taking the vertex 1, 2 and 3, 4 and join them with any 3 edges. Similarly, the rest of the 2 graphs. So another way to create a spanning tree is take all the vertices of your graph and join them with any vertex. Now, apart from that, let's see a few more points. A simple graph with a spanning tree must be connected. So another important point is the graph must be connected because there is a path in the spanning tree between any 2 vertices. So in the case of a spanning tree, or every vertex, there should be a path between each pair of vertices. So that is why it should be a connected graph. Every connected simple graph has a spanning tree. This is very important. Every connected simple graph has a spanning tree. Okay. Now, with respect to this, there is a theorem also that a simple graph is connected if and only if it has a spanning tree. So the theorem statement is as follows. A simple graph is connected. A simple graph is connected if and only if it has a spanning tree. Now, with respect to the same, let's see a example. So instead of the earlier example, I am taking another example. So the graph is as follows. So this is a graph capital G with the following vertices A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now for this given graph, we have to find a spanning tree. Now the graph G is connected, okay, but is it a tree already? No, it is not a tree because it contains circuits or cycles. A tree should not have cycles. Another important condition to remember. Now, but it is not a tree because it contains simple circuits. So for this graph, to make it a spanning tree, first and foremost, what I can do is I have to remove the edges which make it a cycle, or another way is by writing all the vertices and joining them in such a way that it does not create a cycle, as I have shown you earlier. So here I will follow the steps. So I'll remove the edge A comma E. Okay. So I'll remove the edge A comma E. Let me remove that. Okay. Now after that, secondly, I will remove the edge E comma F also, because this here it is making a cycle. So I have to remove any one of the edges, either EF, FG or EG. So I am removing the edge EF. So to remove the edge EF, yeah, so here I have removed the edge EF. After that, finally, another cycle is over here, CF, CG and FG. So finally, remove the edge CG. Okay, so to remove the edge CG, yeah, this is the edge that I have removed. Now if you notice, our graph is basically a tree. Okay, it is a simple graph with no circuits, no simple circuits. So this subgraph, now it is not G. G was our earlier graph. Now I can name it as H, and it is a simple subgraph with no circuits, and now hence it is a spanning tree H, which is a subgraph because it contains every vertex of G. So we have removed edges, but we did not remove any vertices. So this graph contains all the vertices in such a way that there are no cycles in the graph. Hence, this is a spanning tree. Another way to create your spanning tree can be given as follows. The same graph is G. Now, what you can do is you can write all the vertices A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Now after that you have to join the vertices in such a way that it does not create a cycle. So what I can do is from A to B, yes, I can join, and A to C is not joined, so leave it as it is. Then we have A to E, E to F, E to G. After that, you have F and C joined. So instead of C being taken here, I can take C. You can change the position of the vertex. So I can take C over here and I can join F and C and also C and D. Okay, C and D. So this way, if you notice, all the vertices are considered and all the vertices are joined. So I have joined A to B, A to E is also joined. Then I have E and G, E and F. This way you can create a tree. But with respect to this way, it is easier if you have smaller graphs, that is with less number of vertices and less number of edges. Otherwise, the previous way I have shown you with 3 steps, that is removing the edges, is better. Now, after this, another important point to be remembered is there can be more than one spanning tree. Okay, so there can be different span. So the graph that I have shown you earlier, for that graph we have drawn a tree, but that is not the only spanning tree. There are different spanning trees. Basically, there are multiple spanning trees for a simple graph. Now, next we will look into two topics or two concepts, which are depth first search and breadth first search. Now, to find the spanning trees of a connected graph, I have shown you the brute force method. That is how you can remove the edges until you don't have a cycle in the graph, was one way. Or the other way was to write all the vertices and connect it in such a way by looking at the graph given such that you don't have a cycle. But instead of that, we have efficient methods or algorithms for finding a spanning tree on a connected graph. These algorithms are basically known as graph traversal technique. What do you mean by graph traversal technique? The graph traversal technique is basically whenever a graph is given, we have to traverse all the vertices of that graph. Then that traversal or traveling on such that we go through every vertex of the graph is a traversal technique, which is given by two methods or two different algorithms. One is depth first search and the other is breadth first search. Now we will look at each of them in detail, as because these are very important essay answers. So first let's look at the depth first search. So a spanning tree for a simple connected graph can be built using depth first search. The spanning tree can be constructed by the 3 steps. So how should we construct a spanning tree? I am looking at this one first, depth first search. So first what you have to do is randomly or arbitrarily choose a vertex from our graph. Choose vertex of the graph. Choose vertex of graph G. After that, the next step is form a path starting at this vertex. So you have to start at the vertex given and successively add vertices and edges, and successively add vertices and edges where each new edge is incident with the last vertex. What does this mean? Where each new edge is incident with the last vertex. Suppose if you have taken a vertex A. Now, what are the edges connected to A? You should take one of them. So it means if you take, suppose A is connected to B, then this B is incident to A. Okay, where each new B is adjacent to A and this edge is incident to A. After that, and you have to add the vertex in a such a way, or you have to add the vertex in such a way that the vertex should not be in the tree already. The vertex should not be in the path or the tree. Okay, so if you have added B, again you cannot take the next vertex from B to C, and then again you can't come back to B. Once you have added a vertex, you have to keep moving on to the next vertices. Now these are the first 2 points. What is the third point? Continue adding vertices and edges to the path as long as possible. That is, until you have reached all the vertices, you have to continue adding the vertices. So let's write that. Continue adding all the vertices. After that, finally, if the path goes through all the vertices, for example, all vertices are covered, then we get a spanning tree. If all vertices are covered, then the result is a spanning tree. The tree consisting of this vertices, all vertices, is basically a spanning tree. If suppose, if the path does not go through all the vertices, more vertices and edges must be added, and depth first search is also called as backtracking. Okay, this is also known by the name backtracking, because the algorithm returns to vertices previously visited to add paths. So basically, if we have not visited the vertices, it backtracks and adds that vertices. So with respect to this, let's see an example. So this is the example, and the reason I'm taking this specific example is it is a textbook example and usually asked in the examination. Using depth first search, that is, I have to use depth first search to find the spanning tree for the graph G. So in this case, first and foremost, you have to start with a vertex. So you have to arbitrarily choose a vertex. So I can choose any vertex. The reason I am choosing my vertex here is F. I am first choosing, so this is step 1. I am choosing the vertex F. The reason I am choosing F is it is connected to a lot of other vertices. So if I start from there, I don't need to backtrack multiple times. You can choose any vertex randomly. So take a notebook and start with vertex A, B or C by yourself. But here I am choosing the vertex F. Now what I am supposed to do is I have to create a path by successively adding edges incident with vertices not already in the path as long as possible. So step 2 is F is connected to G, D, H and E. So first what I will do is I will take F being connected to G. So here in the next step, I am taking this F and I am adding the edge FG. Okay, so I am adding the vertex G. In the step 3, again, you can add the vertex which is connected to G. So the vertex which is connected to G is F or H. But since F is already in our path, we have to take the next vertex H. So I am taking F, G and then H. Here it should be joined. Yeah, F, G and H. After H, step 4 will be next. H is connected to which other vertices? It is connected to F, I and K. So I am taking K. And once again I am saying that it is not necessary that you choose the vertex that I have chosen and go through the same path. You can choose any other vertex and go through your own path. The only condition is there should not be a cycle and it should cover all the vertices. Okay. So next will be, I am starting from F, I traversed to G, then I went to H, and from H I am going to K. This is step 4. Now from K, where can I go? From K, there is only 2 vertices connected. One is H, one is J. H we have already traveled, so we are going to J. So again, step 5 will be J. So instead, I am just writing it over here due to the space constraint. So K is connected to J. Now after that, please note down the steps. So after this, what we will do is we will now we have gone through F, G, H, K and J. This side of the graph is completely traversed and there are no further vertices from J. So what you have to do is you have to backtrack. You have to backtrack until you get a new vertex. So from J, you will have to backtrack to K. Okay. So because we have reached K earlier, we backtrack to K. Is there any new vertex connected to K or incident? Is there an edge incident to K such that we get a new vertex? No. So again we backtrack to H. Now to H we see that we have G, F and I. We have visited F and G but we did not visit I. So we have to backtrack. We have backtracked to H and we have to visit this new vertex I. So the step 6. So here I am starting from the vertex F, traverse to G, then H, then K and J. After J, what I have to do is I am backtracking from J to K, H and then to reach the new vertex I. So I am backtracking from J to K and then H, and from H I can go to the new vertex I. So we will add another branch to it. Okay. Now after that, this I has been covered also. Now what we have to do? We have to backtrack again. So we reached I, then again backtracking to H, then from H I'll backtrack to G and F. Why? Because all of these vertices have been covered. Now I have to cover the other side of the graph. So for that I have to reach this vertex F again. Now from the vertex F, what I can do is I can go either to D or to E. So what I am doing is I am traversing first to D. Once again, you can choose any vertex to traverse through. It is your personal choice. There will be no different answers. You can have multiple spanning trees for a given graph. Now after that, once F is traversed, we have to go to the vertex D. So here in this step 6, and now I am changing it to step 7. So for this step, I have to add, I am traversing to vertex D. So from F, I am going to vertex D. Now from D, I can go either to E or F. F has already been traversed, so I am going to the vertex E. Now from E, either you can go to F or C. F has already been traversed, so you have only one choice, which is C. Now again from C, there are actually three choices, but since E has already been traversed or traveled, I can go to two of them, either A or B. Now here you can select either A or B. So I am selecting A first. Okay. Now I traversed A. Again you have to backtrack to C and go to B. Okay. So this is the spanning tree for your graph given. So this entire thing, if the graph is G, then the following graph, this over here is the graph H, the tree H or the subgraph H, which contains, if you notice, let's see whether it has all the vertices A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay, it has all the vertices, there are no circuits or cycles, and this is the graph by using the DFS, that is depth first search algorithm. Okay. So with respect to depth first search, what we are doing, we are selecting a vertex, successively adding other vertices until and unless we cover all the vertices. If the vertices are not covered, we backtrack and try to cover all the other vertices. This DFS is also known by the name of the algorithm backtracking. Okay. Now after that, we will see the algorithm for the same. So this is the algorithm for depth first search. The procedure is DFS. What are the inputs? The input is G is a connected graph with vertices V1, V2 and so on up to Vn. Where we have to create a tree T consisting only of the vertex V1 first. Visit V1. Now once you have visited V1, the procedure is visit the vertex of G. For each vertex W adjacent to V and not yet in your tree T, add vertex W and edge VW to T. Then visit W and keep on continuing this procedure until we reach all the vertices. So this is the algorithm for depth first search. Now the next will be breadth first search. So a spanning tree of a simple graph can be produced by breadth first search. The steps are as follows. So first and foremost, arbitrarily choosing a root from the vertices of a graph. So arbitrarily we have to choose choose a root. So basically once again I have to choose a random vertex from the graph. Then you have to add all the edges incident to, then add, so first is choosing the root, so I am directly writing the second point here. Then add all edges incident to this vertex. The new vertices added at this stage becomes the vertex at level 1 in the spanning tree. So what you are supposed to do is, the new vertex that you have added currently or in the next step, the new vertex added becomes level 1 in the spanning tree. Or randomly again arbitrarily order these vertices. So as we are adding the new vertices, you have to give an order to them. So after that, next for each vertex at level 1 visited in order, add each edge incident to this vertex to the tree as long as it does not produce a simple circuit. So what are we doing in the fourth step? For each vertex at level 1, visited in order, add edge incident to this vertex. Okay, so for the level 1 vertices, I have to add the edges incident to that. Then after that, whatever children we have given, order the children of these level 1 vertices and give them the name level 2. Okay, so children of level 1 vertices are named as, or are given the name as level 2. Now the same procedure is followed. This procedure is continued until all the vertices in the tree have been added. So for this, let's see an example. Now for this graph, G, let's name it as G. I want to create a spanning tree by using breadth first search. So first and foremost, we have to choose a arbitrary vertex. So here I am choosing the vertex E. Okay. After that, whatever are the edges incident to E, we will add all of them. Then all the edges incident with all the vertices adjacent to E is added. So to E, we have E is adjacent, or E is joined to D, F, B, I. So there are basically 4 vertices adjacent to E. So this is your step 1. In step 2, what you have to do is create a level. So your level will be, E will be at level 0, or you can even consider level 1. In the next step, you will have to add all of these 4. What are those? B, D, F, I. Okay. These 4 vertices that we have are at level 1. So now in the textbook, they are labeled as level 1. So I'll label it the same. So this is here level 1. Okay. Now next, the edges from those vertices at level 1. So we have to first select D. To which edges is it incident to, or which vertices are adjacent to B? We have A, C, and E. E is already in our spanning tree, so we have to leave it and we have to consider A and C. So for that, we have to add For B, we will have to add A and C. Similarly, for all the other vertices of level 1, so let me write it. We have E, then B, D, F and I. After that, for B, we have A and C. So A and C. What about D? D is connected to A already in the spanning tree. D is connected to E, that is already in the spanning tree. We have H over here. So to D, the new vertex which is adjacent to D is H. What about F? F is adjacent to C, J, E and G. I already have E in the graph, but I don't have the other three. So I have C already over here with B, so I don't even have to add C. Only G and J. So here I have G and J. Okay. And finally to I have the vertex K. H and J are there. Okay. H is already written with D. J is already written with F. So the new vertex which is adjacent to I is only K. So I am writing K. So this all will become your level 2. Let me write it clearly in the next step. So these are your level 1, then level 2 vertices. Now to level 2 vertices, let's start from A. A is connected to B, D already in our graph. C is connected to B, F already in our graph. Then H is connected to, let's see H, it is connected to D, I and K. Those are also already in the graph. We have D over here, I over here and K is over here. So next we have to move on to G. G is connected to a new vertex L, so that will be our level 3. Okay. Now apart from that, J is connected to I, G and F, which has been already included in the spanning tree or the subgraph. So finally we have K. K is connected to a new vertex M, so here I'll add M. So this is the spanning tree. So if this is the graph, then this is the spanning tree H or the subgraph for our graph by using breadth first search. So breadth first search is basically when we are taking an vertex and we are writing all the edges incident with that vertex and creating levels of the tree. So from the next level again we will take all the edges incident. So in the case of breadth first search, let's just see the steps or the and the algorithm. So in the breadth first search, select an unvisited node. It is the current level. From that node, we have to take the nodes, all the nodes which are not visited, when which are adjacent to our vertex. Node is here vertex also, and you have to keep repeating the step. Let's see the. So procedure is breadth first search. Connected graph with vertices V1, V2 and Vn, while T is the tree consisting only of vertex V1 and L is the empty list. What we have to do is put V1 in the list L of unprocessed vertices, while L is not empty, remove the first vertex V from L. For each neighbor W of V, if W is not in L and not in T, then add W to the end of the list. And basically what we are doing is I'm creating a list L. We are creating a list L, and if you have seen that in that list we are adding vertices. Suppose I'm adding E. For our example, I added E. If you have seen E, if you have added E in this list, then it means that you have to travel through all the edges of E. So the edges of E were B, F and B, D, F and I. If you have traversed all the edges of E, then E will be removed from this list and then we will add all the other edges which we have not traversed. So basically this list is for keeping a track of all the vertices which we have not traversed. So that is, once you have added all the vertices to the list L and then removed all the vertices from that list, that means you have traversed the entire graph and created a spanning tree which has every vertex of your graph G. So this is a breadth first search and depth first search. Whenever you get an LAQ from this topic, they will ask you the procedure of the algorithm. So you have to first write the procedure, then the algorithm, then if an example is given, solve that example, or take your own example and try to solve it by using the using whichever algorithm is specified in the question. So these are very important in from your fifth unit for LEQs. Like is minimum spanning tree. So basically, we have studied spanning tree in our earlier class. Now in this class, we will study what is the minimum spanning tree. So if we have a weighted graph and the sum of the weights of the edges, so weights are usually weights are given on edges, right? So if the sum of the weights of the tree is minimized, that is, we get a tree with the minimum weights, or we select edges with the minimum weights and construct a tree, then that tree is called minimum spanning tree. Now, why do we need this? Suppose if we have an example or where minimum spanning tree is used is, suppose if we have a company which plans to build communications network connecting its 5 computer centers. So there is a company and it has 5 data centers. Okay. Now this company makes sure that each pair of these centers is leased or is connected to a telephone line. Then the question is, which links should be made to ensure that there is a path between any 2 computer centers so that the total cost of the network is minimized. So basically, there is a path between each computer center and we need to make sure which kind of telephone line should we lease so that the path is the minimum. So in this case, what we do is we can model this kind of problems with the help of weighted graph, where your data centers are your vertices and the lines between the data centers are your edges, and the weights represent the distance or the monthly monthly traffic, how much traffic is there on that. Your weights can represent basically any kind of value on which we can decide which kind of path to be used. So minimum spanning tree is basically a spanning tree. Spanning tree is basically which covers all the vertices, does not have cycles, and edges are not repeated. Okay, so for that, if we are selecting the edges in such a way that the weights are minimized, then it is known as a minimum spanning tree. So usually a wide variety of problems are solved by finding a spanning tree in a weighted graph such that the sum of the weights of the edges in the tree is minimum. So let's see the definition. Before that, let's see the application. Suppose you want to supply a set of houses with electric power, water, sewage lines, telephones lines. To keep costs down, you could connect these houses with a spanning tree for each of them. So you can create a spanning tree for power lines, for water line, etc. However, the houses are not all equal distances apart. To reduce costs even further, you could connect the houses with a minimum cost spanning tree. Okay, so this is another application. Now, what is a minimum spanning tree? A minimum spanning tree in a connected weighted graph is a spanning tree that has the smallest possible sum of weights of its edges. So basically, we will present to find a minimum spanning tree for weighted graph. We have 2 algorithms for constructing minimum spanning trees. Both of the algorithms, what they do is they keep on adding the smallest weight from those edges with a specified property, that is, they have not already been used. Both the algorithms are greedy algorithms. So let me just make a note of it here. So they are greedy algorithms. Both the algorithms, we have 2 algorithms. We will study each of them in detail. So just for introduction. Now, greedy algorithm is a procedure we have studied already in unit 1, I believe, that makes the best choice at each step. It does not analyze the complete problem. At each step, it will make the best choice. So over here, the first algorithm is Prim's algorithm. So before that, we will actually see example of a spanning tree. So this is a connected undirected graph, and here the weights have been given for this graph. So let's see that. Yeah, so 21 is the weight for this edge, 11 is for this. To make it clear, 33 and 14 for them respectively, 18 for this, 19, 5, 16, 6 and 10. So the minimum cost spanning tree is basically you have to have all the vertices, there should not be a cycle, and also it should have the minimum cost. So from A to B, I'm selecting first and foremost, if I select the most minimum, it is 5, so I'll select BD. Then to this BD, I'll add BF maybe. So you keep on adding it, adding the edges in such a way that the minimum cost is produced for your spanning tree. Now to study this, how we got this minimum cost spanning tree, we will study it further. But you can by yourself try the various spanning trees, not minimum cost. Just try different spanning trees for this graph, connected undirected graph, and find the weights of each graph. So create spanning trees, find it. You can create 3 spanning trees and find the weights, and exercise is that you have to check whether the weights are equal, one is greater than the other, and you can also see whether you have got the minimum cost spanning tree. Now the next is, so for undirected connected graph G is equal to VE, we take a weight function which is assigning the weights to the edges. The spanning tree is tree that connects all the vertices. Minimum spanning tree is that connects all the vertices and minimizes the weight. So for this, let's take the first algorithm. The first algorithm is known as Prim's algorithm. So Prim's algorithm is basically, before seeing the algorithm, we will proceed to the diagram and find the minimum cost of this graph. So this is the graph. So in this graph, what we have to do is start by choosing any edge with the smallest weight and putting it into the spanning tree. So first and foremost, we have to start with any edge which has the smallest weight. So let's see which edges have the smallest weight. So this is the smallest one. The next same, it also has the weight 1. Here also we have the weight 1. So there are 3 edges with the smallest weight. So first and foremost, what you have to do is select any edge. So I am selecting the edge BF. Okay. So I am selecting the edge BF. I am drawing my spanning tree over here. BF. The weight is 1. Okay. I have created the edge. So directly I am drawing the spanning tree. You have to do it in your examination step by step. So this will be your step 1. Now in the step 2, I will change this diagram only. I won't draw another new diagram. So just make sure that you are understanding the problem. So now after this, what you have to do is create the successively, like step by step, the edges of the minimum weight that are incident to a vertex already in the tree are added. So what you are supposed to do is, to this BF, what are the edges connected, and among them which has the smallest weight, keep on adding them such that it does not form a cycle, because the main criteria of a spanning tree is it should not create a cycle. So what you are supposed to do is, now BF, to which edges is it connected? It is connected to this AB. F is connected to this one, not this actually, sorry. Yeah. So F is connected to this one, then this one and this one. So there are 4 different edges to which BF is connected. Now I am selecting, the next one is AB. So I am selecting AB, and what is the weight? Weight is 2. Then the next thing is, you have to select after BF AB. Now among these 2, to which different edges it is selected. So let me just highlight which edges we have selected and which other edge can we select. So among BF, we have selected these two. Now these two are connected to how many different edges? Let's see. So AB is connected to AE and BF is again connected to EF, FG and BC. So next what I will do is I will select the edge FJ. Okay, I am selecting the edge FJ because FJ, yeah, another thing, BF was also connected to FJ. Okay, so I am selecting the edge FJ. Now, one more thing is that you can either add FJ first or AB first. Both of them have the weight 2, so it is your wish. So I'm adding FJ next. Now you have selected 3 edges. Let's highlight them. Yeah. After that, now among these three, to these three, which are the edges connected which have the smallest weight? So to AB we have AE, and to F we have these BC, FG, EF, and to FJ we have IJ, IK. Okay. Now I can take any one of them which have the smallest weight. So we have 4, 3, 3, 3. All of them are 3. So you can take any of them. I am taking IJ. After FJ, either you can take IJ. The only condition is it should not form a loop. So either you can take IJ or you can take AE. So I am taking next IJ, which has the weight 3. After that, you can take the next. So IJ is connected to EI, which has the weight 4. So anyway, you can exclude that. So next you can take AE, which has the weight 3. After that, what you can do is select the next smallest. So you have selected AE, IJ. Now FG, because you are not finding any vertex which is any edge which is incident to all these vertices and has the smallest weight. So you are taking next FG. It has the weight 3. Now you can see that FG is connected to CG, which has the weight 2. So just mark this CG, it has the weight 2. After that, CG is connected to CD, which has the weight 1. Now you can check whether you have all the vertices. No, you don't have H, L and K. So this part of the vertices have to be added. So now let's check this side of the graph. So CD, we need to add H at the vertex H. So we can either take DH or we can take GH. Among these two, which one is the smallest? Obviously GH. So this is 3. Okay. And then finally, we have to add the vertices K and L. H is connected to L by this vertex. So with this H, sorry. So H is connected to L. So here. Let me just write it. This was FG. Then H is connected to L. The edge weight is 3 and then L is connected to K by 1. I'll show you the clear diagram, but before that, let's see all the vertices we have selected. Yeah. So over here, first you selected BF, then to BF, which edge is incident? AB. Then to BF and AB, FJ was incident, so we selected, and we kept on adding until we selected all the vertices and had a spanning tree. Now after that, you have to write the first choice, which edge and what is the weight. This is the way you are supposed to create a table. In the table, you can write it step by step, and totally you will have 11 steps for your diagram. I drew it directly, but you are supposed to have 11 steps for your diagram. Now with respect to this, let's see the algorithm. Procedure, Prim's algorithm. The input is a weighted, connected, undirected graph with n vertices. T is a minimum weight edge. So first and foremost, we are initializing the tree T to a minimum weight edge. We selected the edge BF with weight 1. For I is equal to 1 to n minus 2, so if your total number of vertices are n, then you have to keep on repeating this till n minus 2, because already you have 2 vertices when you selected the minimum weight edge. Now, an edge of minimum weight, what you are supposed to do, add an edge of minimum weight incident to a vertex in T already which we have selected the edge. We have to select an edge which is incident to that one of those 2 vertices and add it, and we should make sure that it should not form a simple circuit. So T is added, E is added to T, and at the end you have to keep on repeating this till you cover all the vertices and the minimum spanning tree is formed. Okay. Now, one more thing, how many edges should you add? You should add, if n is the number of vertices, then n minus 1 edges should be added. So let's count how many vertices are there here. Here we have 12 vertices. So we made 11 choices and added 11 edges. Okay. So basically we have to add, in a spanning tree with n vertices, you will have n minus 1 edges. Okay. So next we have Kruskal's algorithm. So before seeing Kruskal's algorithm, we will see the Prim's algorithm diagram. So if you notice, this graph over here is the minimum spanning tree by Prim's algorithm. Okay. So if I'm denoting it with the notation H, then H is the minimum spanning tree for our graph G, which we have solved by using Prim's algorithm, and this is the way you are supposed to create a table. In this case also I have directly drawn the graph, but you are supposed to remember that don't draw the graph directly, draw it step by step. Now after that, let's see the Kruskal's algorithm. In the case of Kruskal's algorithm also, we will take the same graph G. Now for this graph, how are we supposed to do the Kruskal's algorithm? Choose an edge in the graph with the minimum weight. So the first step will be the same. You have to choose an edge with the minimum weight. So again I am starting with either BF. So again you can start with either BF, CD or KL. Okay. So I am starting with BF again. Let's start with BF. This is here B, vertex BF, and you have to write the weight 1 on that. Yeah. So here we have B, F, join these two and the weight is 1. After that, keep on adding the edges with minimum weight that do not form a simple circuit. So instead of successively adding edges which are incident, what we are doing is we are taking the minimum weight edges. So next I can take, so I have taken BF, I have to check whether I can take CD. So the condition is it should not form a cycle when I'm adding it to the tree. No, BF is over here, CD is not even joined to BF. So it is not forming a cycle, so you can take BF and CD both. Now which was the next one? We have KL. So KL is somewhere here, yeah, so it is below CD, so KL is here. Okay, let me just show you over in this next slide. The diagram is shown over here. So in the first step, step 1, these are the choices I am making. So step 1, I am taking here I am taking the edge CD. You can even start from BF. See, the first 3 edges are BF, CD and KL. So I am taking first CD. Let's go according to the table. So CD is, sorry, it is in this way. C, D. Then step 2 was adding KL. So C, D, K, L. Now here I'll directly add BF, BF. Then after that I am supposed to add CG. So CG. So all of these edges weights are 1. Next, the next minimum was CG, FJ, AB. So let's check whether we can take all the 3 or are they forming a circuit. So we are taking CG, FG and AB. Yes, we can take all the three. So let's just write it. CG, the weight is 2. FJ, the weight is 2. And then we have AB with the weight 2. Now, next we have to check the next least minimum weight. So AE is 3. AE is 3. BC is 3. GH3, FG3, IJ, JK and LH. So basically we have 6 vertices with the weight 3. Can we take any of them? Let's see. So I am able to take BC, JK, GH, IJ, AE, 5 of them. Which one I am unable to take? Let's see. So BC is there. JK we have. IJ, A. But I am not taking HL. Okay. So if I take GH, let's draw that. So if I am taking GH, it has the weight 3 and I am taking HL. No, I cannot take HL because I am taking JK. Where is your J? J is over here. The weight is 3. Now if I take either GK or HL, it will form a circuit and it should not form a circuit. So I am also taking FG. I have taken, did I draw BC? No, yes. Over here BC is 3. I have joined JK, GH, IJ. So I is over here. Yeah. It may be looking confusing over here. So please, first what you are supposed to do is select an edge. First and foremost, select the minimum edge. Then second, in the step 2, keep on adding the edges with the minimum weight. And you just have to check whether it is forming a circuit or not. While in the Prim's algorithm, you were supposed to add edges which were incident to the vertices which we have already selected. So I have taken IJ. And finally, I am taking AE. Okay, AE is also 3. Now, if you notice, for both of them, okay, for both of them, did I take FG? No. But if you check, for both of them, the total weight is 24. Okay, for Prims also we got the weight as 24, and also for Kruskal's we are getting the weight 24. So both of them are giving the same answers, just the method that we are doing is different. And also, I'll show you the steps of how you're, I'll show you the algorithms of how you're supposed to solve it. So Kruskal's algorithm, weighted, connected, undirected graph with n vertices, this will be your input. You have to take an empty graph for I is equal to 1 to n minus 1. So in this case, your loop will run for n minus 1 times. And what you are supposed to do, any edge with the smallest weight that does not form a simple circuit when added to T. So first and foremost, the smallest, then the next smallest, and this will continue till we have added all the vertices. So T with E added, and we keep on continuing with n minus 1 times. Finally, we get a minimum spanning tree G. So this will be your Kruskal's algorithm and Prim's algorithm. And with respect to that, let me show you the steps. I'll share these notes with you, but for now, just look at the steps of Kruskal's algorithm. Choose an edge in the graph with minimum weight. Successively add edges with minimum weight that do not form a simple circuit with those edges already chosen. Stop off after n minus 1 edges have been selected. Let's also see the graph for the same. So for the earlier graph that we have seen, Kruskal's algorithm, this is the minimum spanning tree by Kruskal's algorithm, which has 11 edges if 12 vertices are in the graph. And this is your step 3. But when you are doing it in the examination, you have to do all the 11 steps and write the algorithm, the procedure, and also the table which I am showing you over here. Okay. So first you are supposed to select the edges with the minimum weight. Then the next edges with the next minimum weight, and this will continue till you add all the vertices to your spanning tree. So this concludes your spanning tree.